Hey everybody, Brannon Beliso here. I just got off the phone with my cousin, and he was going through a service. He's a painter that guarantees him, you know, more leads. And then I started digging, and he gave me some research. And I believe this exists in not only that industry, I think it exists in every industry, including our own. Now, I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, have a sense of awareness in relationship to this, okay? So here's his example. With this service, it guaranteed him more web leads, right? More leads. And he's getting all these leads, but there's no names tagged to them. That's the first thing that left him kind of weird. And he said, well, if you're inquiring about my painting service, wouldn't they at least leave their name with their email, right? But these marketers, these gurus, these people that are selling you their sales-based websites, they're selling you their web-generating, you know, lead thing, right? They're simply going to tell you, you've got an email address. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I would love to be able to see where that email and IP address is coming from. That's what I want to know. Because what he found out, he automatically, when he signed up for the service, he was getting web leads at 2:30 in the morning. Who in the heck is looking for a painter at 2:30 in the morning? So he was up last night, and he got one of them, so he replied to it immediately. No response. And this person said, I need a paint job immediately for one of my things, and you know, and till this morning, he looked at it again in the morning, this person has still had no painters reach out to him except for one. So I'm going to challenge you on that. I was using a service once, and I was getting 30 to 40 leads a month, and then they dwindled down to like 4 really fast. And then I called the company and said, hey, you know, what happened here? I was getting all these web leads, and now all of a sudden I'm not getting any. You know, they're down around 4. Within 2 days, my web lead shot back up. So here's my take on this. Now, I'm not saying everybody does this, but here's my take on this. What's stopping me from hiring a service in maybe India or somewhere else with a bank, I don't know, thousands and thousands of fake email accounts, and I just sit there and randomly go to these different websites on my client list, right? And I have people just opt in. You just opt in. Do you believe that's possible? What do you think? Type it in there. Do you believe that is possible? I would think so. When I use those web lead services, I notice 90% of the time there's no name attached. It's only an email. To me, that's very troubling. I would think if you're interested in my service and at some point we're going to interact and maybe have a relationship, that you would have the confidence to at least leave your name with your email, right? We no longer ask for phone number and all that information. We just say name and email. And I have noticed anytime somebody leaves their name with their email, at some point we do connect. Anytime I was getting web leads without a name, it's about 95% nobody ever replies to that. So I'm just going to say, do your due diligence, do your homework. I believe there are good leads. I believe there are bad leads. I really, really do. I know people often reference that movie Glengarry Gos with Alec Baldwin, where he's talking to a group of salesmen, and he says point blank, there aren't any bad leads. There's just bad salesmen. I don't believe that to be true. Tell me, what do you believe is a better lead? Somebody you get through maybe a service like Groupon, who's loyal to Groupon and the Groupon name and who's just simply looking for a deal? Or a mom that was referred to you by a mom who's had her child in your program for 4 or 5 years? You feel me? So I'm really starting to pay attention to that, because I've used several services out there that have guaranteed me to get more web leads, get more leads, period. But as I do my data and I'm checking through all this data, most of those leads through those companies do not reply, do not respond, and I would beg to differ if they're legit. So then I started digging deeper, and my cousin did as well. And he found tons of blogs, tons of articles saying that a lot of these, you know, people who guarantee you web generating are bogus. They've got a bunch of fake email accounts, they've got a bunch of fake, and they're simply just plugging in these emails so it looks to you like you're getting all these web leads and you're doing the footwork, but nobody's signing up. So just please, I'm not saying they're all that way because I don't have data on all these companies to prove that. I can just see the blogs from different vendors, people out there talking about it, and they are aware that maybe all that glitters is not gold. Do your homework, be aware of that. Please be aware of that. So that's what I learned today. You know, if they're going to guarantee you to get you web leads, you got to ask yourself, are they good web leads? Are they somebody within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your business? Are they a mom with kids? You know, are they just some bogus email that's created that they opt into your website? I bet if we research even deeper and do your homework, I bet you could find a company. You could tell somebody, hey, I'm a sales-based company. I need to generate leads. I need a bunch of web leads. Can you do it? You know, I bet there's companies in other countries that you can hire, Philippines, India, elsewhere. That's all they do all day long, is they have somebody sitting on a computer and they opt into these different websites. So it appears to these websites like they're generating more leads. You feel me? Just not being a naysayer. You know me, I'm extremely positive, but I want to make sure we're getting good information. I want to make sure that we're getting legitimate service. I want to make sure we're getting great leads, not good leads, great leads. Great leads. We all deserve that. You feel me? So what do you think about that? Type it in there and talk to me about that. What do you think about that? Have you ever questioned that? Have you ever signed up for one of those services and wondered, are all these web leads legit? Can I verify that they're all legitimate emails and legitimate people within a 3 to 5 mile radius of my business? Can you verify every one of those web leads coming in? Go. And if not, has it ever left you leery with the process that it could be fake? What do you think? Type it in, type it in. I've wondered this about a past website provider. Yeah, me too. You know, me too, Eric. I'm wondering about, now that I'm hearing it from another industry, a totally different industry from ours, then if they could do that, right? If they could do that, why can't our industry do that? I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can, right? My cousin was all over this last night, and he did all this research, and there's so many blogs out there going, these are bogus web leads, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I want you to be mindful of that and really do your homework. Can the company you're using verify every web lead you're getting, the source that it's coming from, as being a legitimate lead within a 3 to 5 mile radius of your school, right? And somebody that can be verified as it's a mom with a kid or something like that. I would like to believe that they can't verify all those leads, can they? Anybody? What do you think? What do you think? So I'm learning that, and when my cousin called me today on it, and was just sharing all the information he got, it really made me think about, you know, the couple of times I've used these types of website sales-based providers and getting all these leads, and then you know, you got to be leery of that. And then I thought about that when I was using a service like Groupon. I did it through somebody and I did it on my own. And to get all these leads that never showed up. How many of you got tons of Groupons that never even made it through the door and redeemed the service? Anybody? Think about that by itself, right? One time I was using a service where the Groupon would come in, and I didn't get any of the Groupon money. It was split between the service I was using and Groupon. And I remember I got like 800 Groupons, but when I tracked it, out of the 800 that signed up, right, that I never saw a cent on, only like maybe, I think we tracked it, like 200 actually came through the door. So how is that possible? 800 people sign up for a Groupon, but only 200 show. I don't know, right? Right? Do you create your own website? Yeah, Eric, right now I'm doing that. I'm painstakingly going through the education process of knowing about coding, SEO optimization on the back end. What does it realistically cost? What goes into building a website? What does it actually take to create a good branded website that communicates your culture and your why? I'm doing all of that right now, Eric. I have an inside web designer that I'm putting through school, literally, and we're learning this together. I want to know this information. You don't have to know to go. And there's people out there, I'm a great web designer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. You're all great web designers. It's art. You know, I think it's subjective. What I need to know, and I need to know quickly, swiftly, and accurately is, does this website communicate my why? And somebody said to me, well, you don't know anything about SEO and what people are looking for, and we're the experts, and so you're basically saying I'm stupid. Is that what you're telling me? I said, I don't take that personally. I'm simply sharing this with you because there was a time you were not a web designer and you did not know. You did not know. So with that said, you didn't know either at the time. So you educated yourself, and now you're a web designer, marketing company, etc., etc. So can I not do the same? I can absolutely do the same, right? So my cousin's piping in here. He also, with this service he was looking at, they give no phone number provided, no return email address, no home address, only a first name provided or initials, and alerts received at 2:30 in the morning. Very questionable. That's even worse, right? At least make up a bunch of fake email accounts and put them through some kind of autoresponder to just automatically, hit all these new websites that I've designed or are signing up for me. So I'm going to pull covers back on that. Steve Barkley says, I guess if your website has a bunch of fake pictures and testimonials, you can expect fake leads. I know yours is real. Well, at the minimum of that. And the thing about that was, when I got rid of my sales-based website and I went back to our old crappy website, which is sell-based, and it needs tons of work. And you look at it, we're slowly doing one page at a time. If you look at onemartialarts.com, I have my after-school page done. I have my kickboxing page done. And we're working on it little by little. I need to learn this stuff because I think your website is so vital. And there's so many companies out there telling you, we'll do everything, one-stop shop. Marketing, SEO, emails, da-da-da-da-da. There's so many of those out there now. I need to know if they're legit or not. And I can't do that simply by using their service. I need to understand what it is that they do firsthand. So by spending this time, it's taking so much longer, but the education process that I'm learning about web design, and I'm doing both right now. Here's the thing I'm doing. I'm rebranding my One Merit badges into Kids Love Life Skills, and I'm working with a professional web company. I'm paying the tens of thousands of dollars to get a legitimate website, and I want to know what that takes too. I've sat in every creative meeting, everything when they set up the sitemap, the whole 9 yards. I need to know. I need to understand all of this, because if I'm going to talk to you, I can't talk out of my butt. I've got to really know what's going on, and understand at the breakneck, the way technology moves, how quickly this is evolving and changing, because it is. It really, really, really is. So I'm not saying anybody is legit or not legit. I'm just saying, please do your homework. And a lead is not a lead until it converts to a trial, until it converts to a member. I want you to really look at those things, really think about what you're doing, and pay close attention to that, okay? Really pay close attention to that, because I am too. Because they're out there now, and in the wild, wild west of the internet, where things are changing dramatically, where they can fudge numbers all the time, right? All the time. So Eric's saying I used to dabble in a little SEO, and I'm not an expert, but I've had to adjust some of the so-called great SEO martial arts website providers are creating. I've had to adjust. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're using a template and they're basing their marketing upon what? Their SEO optimization is based upon what? Just simply giving you data that says the website is performing well? Well, I have 2 locations 20 minutes apart, and the marketing I use for them are vastly different. They both behave differently, 20 minutes apart. The culture's different, the environment's different, the demographic we serve acts a little differently. So we're learning even that within itself. And that was really a big eye-opener for me. I thought one size fits all. What marketing works here works in Minnesota, will work in my SF location, will work in my Millbury location 20 minutes away. It does not. It behaves totally differently. So with that said, I just want to open your mind, as Bruce Lee said. Empty your cup. Open your mind. To the possibility that maybe we are being scammed. Maybe they are using a service in some third world country that sits there and is going to send you email, appearing like a web lead, when in the day's done, it's somebody who's just plugging in an email, some fake email account from another country away. There's got to be some way for us to track that. And it's got to be a third party. You can't simply trust that sales-based website or that web generating person or whatever company it is to tell you, here is our, analytics. Here's our optimization, because that's information from them. Is there a third party we can use, a total neutral third party that can look at that information, dissect it legitimately, for a minimal fee and tell you this is a legitimate lead. This email is coming from, New York. This email is coming from LA. This email is coming from Pakistan. This email is coming from the UK. Can we physically know that and see that to know if I'm in San Francisco, are all these web leads coming from a 3 to 5 mile radius? Something as simple as that. I'm going to start looking into that and see if there's a service that will provide us that, because we deserve to get good web leads, but we shouldn't be paying for bad ones, right? So something to think about. All right, this is Brannon Beliso. I'm heading to Jamaica tomorrow, so I'll be off the grid for a while. My good buddy Two's getting married, so I'm going to go out there and hang out with him. My buddy Roland Osborne, John Cassidy, Kevin Cassidy. I love these guys. I miss them, so I can't wait to hang out with them. So this is Brannon Beliso. Open your mind, right? You're not sheep. Start thinking for yourself. Start, challenging Big Brother. Start questioning the authorities out there and be mindful of that. This is your life. This is your space. This is your race. Don't let anybody tell you how you should be running that race. Cool? This is Brannon Beliso. Until we talk again, you go out there and make a difference. BrannonBeliso.com. See you in Seattle, July 24th. See you in New York, October 2nd. See you in Tampa, Florida on October 9th.